Well, the weather is getting colder. You know what that means? Let me see. Football season, school's open, Thanksgiving's coming, and the holidays, you know, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all that is coming. Leaves are turning, great fall foliage. My favorite part of the season, it's soup season. I'm Chef Dan. I'm almost vegan. So we're starting soup season this year with what I think is one of the most healthiest soups around. It's healthy. Like, I look towards history and I say, why? Why is something a certain way? Because history tells us that back in ancient Rome, the gladiators, who were one of the healthiest people around, ate a particular grain called barley. They were sometimes known as the barley men. And there were these big, rugged guys who ate almost entirely, their diets were almost entirely of barley. That's it. So barley's really good. A lot of vitamins and a lot of fiber. It fills you up. It's great. This soup is so good, you know what? I can have it as a meal on its own. It's really robust and really fills you up. And it is, of course, barley mushroom soup. And let's get started right away. Don't forget, if you like the recipe, click like. Please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, leave a comment. What's your favorite soup? Have you ever tried barley soup? I have a little piece of story that I'm going to get into in a little bit, but hey, I love to hear your stories. So with that in mind, let's get started. First thing I have is this, ooh, nice and hot. First thing I have is this flavor component. I have this flavor component I use in a lot of my soups. I won't say all of them, but a lot of them, and that is called a mirepoix. Mirepoix is 2 parts of onion, 1 part carrot, 1 part celery. I use it a lot. It's a great flavor, great flavor. And to start the soup with, we're going to saute this mirepoix. About a tablespoon of olive oil. Ooh, you hear that noise? That's a good noise. That's a good sound. And we're going to saute it. I don't want to get it brown necessarily, although if that's your choice of flavor, that's fine. I just want to get it cooked a little bit because it's a whole different flavor. You know, throwing the mirepoix into a simmering liquid is good. It's going to give you some flavor. But when you saute it, not only does it caramelize the sugars in it, which gives you a great richness, but it also evaporates some of the moisture, giving you an intense flavor. So if you combine those two, it gives you a rich, intense vegetable flavor. And that's what you're looking for. What we've done is we put the mirepoix in the pan, hot pan, a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon of olive oil, maybe even 2 teaspoons if you don't want too much oil. Fine, and we add our mirepoix. This mirepoix was 1 cup of onions, half cup of carrots, half cup of celery. Okay? But you can add more or less depending on your taste. That's what I like for this amount of soup. And don't forget, 1 part onion to a half part carrot and celery. Okay. Next is the mushrooms. And I like to have my mushrooms sliced. I like nice pieces of mushroom in my soup, but at the same time I want surface area. More surface area, more flavor. So I want the surface area. So I want to slice them. First thing I do is clean them. I use stuffing mushrooms. They're the big mushrooms. Big, like you have button mushrooms, they're smaller. These are stuffing mushrooms, they're bigger. Fine. I like them because this way I have to clean less of them. I only need like 5 of them. And this is how you clean them. Don't add water. Once you add water, they start to brown. So instead of adding water, just wipe the outside off. If you're a stickler, you say, oh, I have to wash them with water. Go ahead, wash them with water. I don't care. But they're going to start to brown pretty quickly. Just wipe the outside off, and you're good to go. Okay, to cut them, because don't forget, they're larger than the average mushroom. So cut it in half. And slice. Slice. So you have nice slices of mushroom. Throw it in with your mirepoix. of mixing all the mushrooms together with the mirepoix, and that was a 10-ounce package of mushrooms. They come in these baskets. The baskets are already basket, 10 ounces. Good. If your basket, your store is 12 ounces, it's not a problem. If you want to use extra mushroom, you want to use 2 baskets, it will just be a little mushroomy. So, I use 1 basket, it's 10 ounces of mushrooms. That's absolutely fine. And the mushrooms need to cook. Same reason. I like to saute the mushrooms. It gives it a little bit of a mushroom saute flavor. And what's also good is that mushrooms have a lot of liquid in them. So sauteing is going to get some of that liquid out of the mushrooms. Okay, now you can see that as we're cooking the mushrooms, more and more steam is coming out. You see that steam? See that? Okay, so you see that steam coming out. That's all the water in the mushrooms coming out. And that's important. You want to get that water out. And this just smells terrific. If you can just make a mushroom soup with this, but we're going to add the barley because we want that to be a meal, not just a cup of soup. So get this so the mushrooms are pretty well cooked, and then we add the last flavor component, which is garlic. This garlic I chopped very roughly. Can you see that? Just a rough chop. I use 4 cloves of garlic. It's a lot of garlic. If you want to chop small, then by all means just use maybe 1 or 2 cloves. I like it cut a little big because I don't want that spicy garlic flavor. I want a little bit more of a savory, rich garlic flavor. So I cut it a little bigger. You can slice them if you want, go that way. Or you can just smash them and throw them in there. You go that way, then you make 6 garlic cloves if you do that. The larger you cut them, the more cloves you need, because the less flavor per clove you're going to get. Once you start chopping them fine, you got a lot of surface area and a lot of that intense, spicy garlic flavor. Okay, I don't want to cook these too much. That's why I add them at the end, because they could burn, and if they burn, they're just no good to anybody. They're bitter and terrible, so we don't want to do that. You just kind of toss it around now, and this is your flavor component. This is what the soup is going to basically taste like. Okay. Now you want to add your liquid to it. That smells delicious. Absolutely delicious. Okay. The soup we're making today, we're using 8 cups of vegetable broth. Here you go. 8 cups of vegetable broth. And that is going to be delicious because you can see that right now. It's just like a mushroom and vegetable broth kind of thing going on. Not much going on there. You see, it's just vegetables and mushrooms kind of floating around in there. Very good. And we have the barley. Okay. Here comes the story. First time I made barley, I put some nice broth in a pot. I added barley. Okay. The pot was about this big. I added 1 bag. Barley comes in like 1-pound bags. It's about 2 cups of barley. Put the barley in there, cover it with water. Gotta make some barley. Then I'm gonna take it out and just saute with some vegetables. Beautiful, like a side dish. Beautiful. Start with this cup. By the time I finish cooking it, I filled about half of this up to about here. Okay, so this is where I started. This is where I finished. The lesson is barley swells up a lot. So make sure, you might think, oh, I gotta add more because like there's no barley in it. I gotta add more. And then by the time you finish cooking the barley, you have all barley and no liquid. You gotta add more liquid. You gotta get a bigger pot. So for 8 cups of liquid, 1 cup of barley. That's my rule. If you like the soup a little thicker, maybe 1 1/4 cup. If you like it a little thinner, maybe 3/4 of a cup. But that's the basic rule. 8 cups of liquid, 1 cup of barley. That's how it goes. And you just add it to it. There you go. That's it. The broth is a low sodium broth. When you taste it later, you might have to add a pinch of salt to it. But for right now, that's it. It's really, really good. Excellent. And this is going to simmer for about 40 minutes or so. So we had 8 cups of liquid to 1 cup broth. And all those vegetables sauteing in there, giving us that great base of sauteed vegetable flavor, including the mushrooms. So we got this wonderful, wonderful, flavorful broth going on, and we're going to cook the barley in the broth. I will be back in about 40, 45 minutes to check this out.